just cleaning up the tables because I've used them for the pods over the weekend, but now we're gonna use them for cutting and edge bending. One table is gonna receive the parts off the CNC and the other one is gonna be receiving the parts off the edge bender. And then once they're all cut, we're gonna use the racks to separate them all, to start assembly. Hopefully by the end of the week, we're gonna have all the boxes built for this job. So that next week, when the finishings come from Montreal, we can start the install. So the following week, we're gonna be on site for a whole week. You have to make sure that all the tools are in the right position and you don't have any like door bits, the big ones.
Okay.
And, yeah, because this is gonna happen. You're gonna see in the future. You're gonna come on Monday. Let's say you cut on Friday.
Yeah.
You're gonna come back on Monday and all your knives are gonna be because I did something and I forgot to put them back.
Okay.
I'm always trying to put them the way I found them, but it happens.
Yeah.
So don't just start cutting automatically.
Right.
Because there might be a surprise. Because you have to see what head does it says it has. 610, right? 610 is the one that we're using.
We should be on the 300 series, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we should have the 308. 308 is the 5 millimeter. Remember, it's the surfacer.
Right.
303, 306, 307, 308, 313 we need for e-cabinets. And right now, I can tell that the basket 5 is empty. And again, I know from experience, and you're going to learn it, that there you should have the 308.
Right.
Is the 5 millimeter bit.
Right.
And the 610 is in position 5.
Right.
Position 5 is missing, and clearly it's in the head.
Right.
And I checked and it's there. And if we look, just because I know 308 should be there. I've explained the methods of using the equipment that we have in the shop so many times already that probably there's already like a pattern of the thought process. How do I start explaining something that's so intricate because again, you were asking about the CNC. It is simple, it just cuts, but it's not that simple. It's extremely complicated. And there's many things that you have to be aware of and keep track of while you're cutting. So there is a procedure that has developed by its own in my mind. 5 millimeter for shelves in position 6.
Okay.
So what had happened?
No, it says position 5.
Position 5, sorry, yeah. What had happened, we did the grooves for the panels, for the pod. So now you can go and press the button and release manually the tool.
Right.
Or you can tell the router to go and drop the tool and you physically change it.
Right.
So we have done before this operation where you put tool lock on, you go press the button, release the tool, and it's gonna tell you. You're gonna unload the 610 into the assigned tool changer position. Before running, verify position 5 of tool changer is empty.
Right.
Yeah, go. This is what holds the tool. The tool gets inserted in it. You're putting it in the cone that goes into the router, but then you need something to secure this in place. And that was that nut that secures this in place. And because there's little gaps inside here, because this needs to be flexible, right? There's little gaps. While it cuts, dust gets inside, therefore getting behind that nut. You cannot just take the tool out because this is 1/4 inch, this is 3/8, right?
Right, so the collet's got to
Exactly. When you put it back, you have to make sure that you clean whatever falls by hitting it onto a hard surface. You don't need to clean it completely. It's okay if there's dust there. But if there's all that dust that's loose inside and all of a sudden you're putting it vertical and trying to screw it, that dust might go in the thread and it's gonna lock your thread. Because there's a tube actually, like a channel,
Yeah.
for the sensor rod to travel.
Right.
And if there's debris going in there, it stops the contact at the bottom.
Yep.
That's what it is. And with a new seal, you're gonna have this very, very rare, because even the fine dust sometimes
Yeah.
can stop the contact
Right,
or interrupt
right,
the continuity. We're prepping a job for next week. 2 closets, built-in closets, one in the bedroom, one in the master bathroom, and utility room / laundry room that we're building. And that's gonna be 35 sheets for the boxes with all the shelving and drawer boxes. And then the finishings, we're getting them from Montreal because as you can see, there's no paint booth here yet. Not because of us. This latest project that we're doing right now, it's 2 built-ins and a laundry room / utility room. We're doing all the boxes, the cabinet boxes, in Austin, and then all the finishings, all the exterior, because they have to be painted, they will be done in Montreal. Still, unfortunately. Fortunately for them, unfortunately for us. Because we don't have yet the paint booth set up. We found the products, the development and trial period is completed. We locked down the primer that we're going to be using, the top coat that we're going to be using, sealer and clear top coat. But we're still waiting on the custom paint booth that is going to be installed after the Chefla. Because without that, in theory, we could spray right now in this shop. But you have dust in the air in this shop. And then while the paint is drying, all the fumes, even though it's water-based, they will just be evaporating in the shop. We don't want to do that. We want to have proper filtration, clean air in the booth, and do it the right way. Because with that custom spray booth, we're going to be able to spray whatever doesn't go through the Chefla, so stuff that's going to have to be sprayed by hand. We can spray it, because the way we're set up right now, I can only spray through the Chefla, because it has its own enclosure for spraying. But I cannot spray anything that needs to be sprayed by hand, because I do not have exhaust in the shop, and I don't want to spray just in the shop and put all the overspray everywhere. So we'll be able to spray stuff by hand. We will have a nice, clean, closed space in which to receive whatever the Chefla will spray, and we will have proper lighting to be able to inspect all the pieces that are sprayed either by hand or by the spray line. So it's multiple advantages, and I wouldn't want to try it in any other way. I know that that's the right way to do it. We're just about there. So for now, we're using Montreal to do all the finishing for the Austin jobs.